It is not the sound of a struggle that defines the deepest mysteries, but the oppressive, paralyzing quiet left in its wake. There is a profound, almost theological absence that settles over certain places, a vacuum that swallows not just bodies, but every shred of coherent explanation. This is the silence that descended upon Oakhaven, the grand, isolated residence nestled deep within the rain-soaked emerald folds of the Pacific Northwest, on the morning of October 27, 1998. It was the moment the world realized that an entire unit of vibrant human existence, the Caldwell family, had ceased to occupy the space they inhabited, leaving behind only the perfect, terrifying symmetry of an untouched life. This silence, initially mistaken for the deep slumber of a prosperous Sunday, quickly transmuted into the chilling realization of an impossible void. It is a mystery that does not require bloodstains or shattered glass to capture the imagination. It grips the soul because it defies the very architecture of logical process. The Caldwell vanishing is not merely an unsolved case. It stands as a towering, defiant challenge to the human compulsion for narrative closure. It asks us to confront the terrifying possibility that sometimes, in the intricate clockwork of our organized world, an entire mechanism can simply and flawlessly stop without friction, without warning, and without leaving a single witness to attest to its cessation. The family itself was a testament to American success and potential. Arthur Caldwell, 47, was a visionary architect whose designs merged glass and nature with seamless, inspiring fluidity. He was meticulous, a lover of order, known for his relentless dedication to solving structural impossibilities. His wife, Eleanor, 45, was an acclaimed abstract expressionist whose canvases were defined by bold color and intense energy, a perfect counterpart to Arthur's measured logic. And then there were the twins, Thomas and Sophia, bright, athletic 16-year-olds who embodied the future, full of nascent promise and the boundless confidence of youth. Their life at Oakhaven was a portrait of idyllic stability: tennis court bookings, Eleanor's vibrant studio overflowing with paint, Arthur's home office humming with the soft click of server farms, and the casual shared humor that defines a tightly knit unit. They were anchors in their community, models of resilience and achievement. The conflict began with Detective Marcus Thorne's arrival, a seasoned investigator whose career had been built on dissecting the messy residue of human failure. What he found at Oakhaven was not failure, but an unsettling perfection. The front door was unlocked, as was often their custom in that secluded, trusting environment. Inside, the scene was a museum of interrupted domesticity. On the polished granite kitchen counter sat 4 bowls of oatmeal, sweetened with brown sugar half-eaten, the spoons resting precisely on the rim. The coffee maker, still warm, held the last dregs of an unpoured brew. The twins' backpacks were neatly placed by the mudroom door, ready for the Monday morning rush that would never materialize. Arthur's laptop was open on his desk, displaying a complex floor plan, saved just minutes before the estimated time of departure. The true conflict, the element that elevates this mystery from tragedy to an enduring intellectual puzzle, lay in the absolute absence of evidence commensurate with 4 large human beings being removed against their will. There was no sign of struggle, not a single disturbed rug, not a chair out of place. The windows were locked from the inside. All 4 family vehicles were accounted for, parked meticulously in the 3-car garage. Their beloved golden retriever Barnaby was found wandering the grounds, clearly distressed, but having been fed and watered only hours before, suggesting a caregiver had been present and operating within a routine, yet had vanished nonetheless. The open loops, the threads that forever snagged the attention of investigators and amateur sleuths alike, were tantalizingly few, yet overwhelmingly frustrating. The only break in the domestic perfection was found in the digital domain. Arthur Caldwell was an early adopter of sophisticated smart home security systems, a network of sensors and cameras that logged every entry and exit, every internal movement. The logs were perfect, unbroken, proving no external breach. But between 7:14 a.m. and 7:15 a.m. on October 27th, the central server logged a single 1-minute gap in data transmission, a blip so minor it was initially dismissed as network latency. Yet, in that 60-second interval, 4 people evaporated. Was this a system failure, or a calculated surgical deletion of the critical moment of ingress or egress? Furthermore, Eleanor's art studio held another mystery. A canvas nearly complete, depicting a vibrant sunrise, lay untouched, but her easel was tipped slightly, almost imperceptibly, as if she had suddenly stepped back in surprise rather than intentionally walked away. The ensuing development of the investigation became a profound demonstration of human tenacity against the insurmountable wall of the unexplained. Detective Thorne, refusing to categorize the case as a mere cold file, turned it into a masterclass in forensic persistence. He called in specialists from multiple federal agencies, deploying techniques that were revolutionary for the late 90s. He treated the absence itself as the single largest clue. If they didn't leave via the front door, and they didn't leave via the garage, and there was no evidence of struggle, the solution had to be complex, premeditated, and deeply personal. Theories escalated and interrupted the standard investigative pattern. Was it a calculated, voluntary departure? The twins left behind their favorite musical instruments, their wallets, and their school identification, not the actions of teenagers planning an escape. Was it espionage or witness protection? Arthur's work was high-level, but purely architectural. No classified government contracts were found, nor any large, untraceable sums of money withdrawn. The wildest theories, often peddled by the sensation-seeking press, posited supernatural or extraterrestrial abduction, a natural human coping mechanism when facing the absolute impossibility of the mundane facts. But Thorne and his team, driven by the inspiring stubborn belief that every lock has a key, focused on the digital ghost left behind. They spent weeks immersed in Arthur's server logs, trying to decipher the nature of that 60-second void. They didn't find a kidnapper, they found a ghost protocol, a highly sophisticated piece of encryption designed to wipe specific data points instantaneously. This revelation fueled the investigators, transforming despair into a renewed, focused determination. It meant the disappearance wasn't chaotic, it was executed with technical brilliance. This enduring mystery, 30 years later, serves as a powerful re-engagement with our core philosophical need for answers. Why does the story of the Caldwells resonate so deeply, inspiring documentary filmmakers, podcasters, and amateur investigators across generations? Because it represents the ultimate test of human ingenuity. We are inspired by the sheer unyielding effort put forth by those like Thorne, who refuse to accept the finality of I don't know. The Caldwell disappearance forces us to look beyond the surface, to accept that the world is more complex, more technologically vulnerable, and perhaps more mysterious than we choose to believe on a daily basis. The real inspirational takeaway is not that they vanished, but that our search, rooted in the values of justice and closure, persists. It is a testament to the idea that even in the face of absolute ambiguity, the human spirit continues to question, to seek patterns, and to reject the idea of an unsolvable puzzle. The search is a definition of our resilience. The investigation reached its intellectual climax not in the recovery of the family, but in the profound, devastating realization of the nature of their exit. Years later, after painstaking restoration of corrupted backup files from an off-site server Arthur had secretly maintained, investigators discovered a final piece of evidence. It wasn't a confession or a location, but a single complex routing code program to activate precisely at 7:14 a.m. on the day of the disappearance. This code, written by Arthur himself, was designed to encrypt and transfer all of his personal financial holdings, a vast, but not liquid fortune, to an offshore, untraceable digital ledger. This revelation proved definitively that the vanishing was not a random act of violence, nor an immediate tragedy, but a meticulously planned and technically brilliant exit, orchestrated by the patriarch of the family. The code closed the loop on one crucial aspect: the Caldwells had agency. They were not victims snatched by external forces. They executed a strategic maneuver. But this closure immediately ripped open a new, more terrifying enigma. Why? Why vanish from a perfect life? Why leave the oatmeals half-eaten, the dog cared for, the children's hopes for Monday morning intact? The greatest revelation was that the family's greatest mystery was, in fact, their own deliberate creation, a purposeful act of self-erasure driven by motives that remain utterly opaque. Did Arthur save his family from some unseen threat? Did Eleanor, known for her passionate intensity, discover something unforgivable that necessitated a total reset? The answer remains locked away in that single, brilliant routing code. The enduring payoff of the Caldwell mystery, the core of its inspirational power, is the ongoing conversation it sparks about the nature of choice, identity, and the boundaries of human knowledge. The Caldwells taught us that even in the most secure environments, control is an illusion, and that even the most meticulously documented lives can, by an act of will, become fiction. Their disappearance reminds us that the quest for truth is not always about finding simple answers, but about understanding the depth and complexity of the question itself. It forces us to appreciate the dedication of every analyst, every detective, every volunteer who contributes time and effort simply because they believe that every human story deserves its final chapter. The courage to pursue the answer, even when the answer seems to reside in the realm of the impossible, is what truly defines us. This mystery continues to compel us, not because we seek closure for the Caldwells, but because we seek to understand the limits of our own world. We must embrace the paradox, a life fully lived, meticulously planned, and then perfectly undone. We are called to investigate not just the evidence left behind, but the profound human capacity for transformation, for calculated risk, and for the audacious choice of absolute disappearance. The challenge is clear. Can human intellect unravel a secret woven by one of its own most brilliant minds? Let this enduring puzzle inspire you to look deeper, to question the obvious, and to never settle for the easy explanation, because the Caldwell story proves that sometimes, the most profound truths are hidden in the perfect silence.